Okay, this is Chase's first update video. This is day one. This is when he got dropped off. And I'm just taking him for a little bit of a walk so that he gets to know me. This is a week later. I'm wearing the same clothes. I happen to wear the same clothes a lot. But this is a week later, and here what we're doing is I'm taking this dog to go potty. And the big thing here is that alone took so much work. For him to potty on leash in front of me took so much work. Because what he would do is he would just hold it. And he held it as long as he possibly could. And the way we do things here is you have to do everything on leash. So potty breaks are done on leash. And when we do the potty breaks, we don't take the dog for a walk, thinking, okay, maybe if I walk him to this area, he'll go potty. We pick one spot and we stay there until A, they go potty, or B, they decide I'm not going to do anything, at which point we just put him away. So I'm waiting there a little bit longer to get him to maybe go poop. So that's why I waited a little bit longer. And if he doesn't, it's not a big deal. We just moved on and we did something else. But that alone took a long time because he's timid. He has this issue where he just didn't want to do it. And obviously I'm not gonna facilitate that, the thing that he wants to do, which is, he wants to go maybe for a walk and then he'll go somewhere else. We're not going to do that. The dog has to learn to potty on leash. It's absolutely necessary. When the dog gets taken to other places for travel, when the family takes Chase out somewhere, and obviously we want Chase to be part of the family, you don't always have the ability to just drop the leash, cut him loose, and go potty. Sometimes that's very inconvenient. So we want to be able to pick any spot. It needs to be any spot. If I take you to that tree, you have to go potty in that tree. If I take you to this patchy area right here, you have to go potty in that patchy area. And that takes work. That takes some work. For some dogs, it's not an issue at all. Some dogs will just go potty wherever at any time with whoever holds the leash. But some dogs require that extra attention, and that's what we did. That was such a successful session, even though it seems like it wasn't anything big. The fact that he went potty probably within a minute of me taking him out was very impressive, and it showed the trust that he's already starting to develop with me. Next order of business is pressure. Dogs, especially the timid ones, they want nothing to do with pressure. So what I'm doing here is I'm introducing him to light forms of pressure, somewhat directional towards a sit. My goal here is not to necessarily teach him how to sit. I'm just trying to teach him the language of pressure and in the context of a sit behavior. I'm going to do it here in a moment with place as well. But this is a few days after he got dropped off. So a few days after drop off, then we started doing this. It's a little bit of pressure there for place. And one thing that Chase is telling me in this training session is he'll do things, but the moment he feels some pressure, some bit of I'm gonna make you do it, he's like, I don't want to do it. If I don't want to deal with it, I don't want to deal with it. So a lot of times what happens with timid dogs, or just dogs in general, is they learn to out-stubborn pressure, and they'll do a bunch of techniques, like they'll escape, they'll lock up, which prompts the person holding the leash to immediately stop what they're doing. So as you can see here in this context, in this session right here, I'm doing a bit of pressure with the context of place. So now he's doing a good job. So now I'm giving him a lot of love. He's getting pets. He's getting some belly rubs. This is days after. This was not day one, because introducing that language of pressure on day one with the dog is a little bit timid. Not a good idea. So this was, I would say, about 3 days after what we started to kind of really implement that. So even there, as I'm petting him, I'm introducing a little bit of pressure there. So again, a little bit of pressure, and you can tell he's trying to avoid the pressure. He's trying different things. Fortunately, he's a nice dog. He's not being overly dramatic about it. He's not attempting to bite, nothing like that. But you can tell he does go, I want nothing to do with this. But now we're making progress. Now he's not avoiding it as much. The jumping up, that's a way to avoid it as well. So you see there's a little bit of pressure and a little bit of a touch on the rear end, and he does this move that is his way of telling me, don't touch me. In a very polite way, but still, that is a clear, don't touch me. So what we want to do is let him know this is normal. We're not saving pressure for the worst case scenario. We're not saving pressure for when we need it. Because then it's really confusing. If a dog cannot handle mild forms of pressure like this, they will not do well with pressure where reliability is required, where you need to call him and suddenly the pressure needs to be a little bit more if he decides he's not going to. See, now he's trying different things. Now he's trying, you know what, I'm going to jump up. I'm going to try to get away from the pressure. And I'm just telling him, but the pressure doesn't go away. The pressure's still there. It's mild. I'm not doing anything harsh. Now this is a week later. So a week later, you can see after several sessions, several days of dabbling into that pressure sessions, now you can see he's actually much more prepared to handle this. And the minimal amount of pressure that is taken here to get him to sit is amazing. Now, the goal here is not to teach him to sit. I can teach this dog to sit without once touching the leash. The point is not that. The point is to teach him the concept of pressure in the context of a sit behavior, so that later the dog is better prepared for different forms of pressure as we progress with the training. That's the point. So now we're doing a little bit of place, which again, there's a little bit of pressure there to let him know. Place means you have to stay right there. Still very early introduction. This is only week 1. Good things happen on place. And when we say free, that's the key word. Free means we're done. If we don't say free, that means you have to stay there. I don't have to tell him to stay. We don't use the command stay. If I tell you place, that means you stay there until you're told free. So there he's showing a little more clarity here. And Chase is a little bit on the timid side, so a lot of the training that we do with him has to be at his pace. If we rush it and we try to just get as much done in a short period of time as possible, it ends up not being a good approach for a dog that's a little bit on the timid side. Here we're introducing him to the slat mill. It's a manual treadmill made specifically for dogs. This is something Chase will be using during his stay. And now all we're doing is we're just doing a little bit of an introduction here. We're not even going to run him on it. He's just learning to put his paws on it.